Will insurance companies start dropping us here in the Pacific Northwest because of hurricanes in Florida? Let's discuss. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We are the Hatch Homes Group, and you have Angela and Randolph today from the team, and then we have a special guest, Ricky Hayter. Ricky, thank you so much for coming on our Monday housing market update. Ricky's our insurance expert. And what we want to talk about today is all this kind of scary stuff going on in the news. Like you have Florida, where insurance companies are just pulling out of covering people's homes. Same in California. I was talking to a California agent, and they were saying that the insurance contingency or timeline in the contract is a lot more stressful for buyers right now. And so how is this going to affect us in the Pacific Northwest? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Angela. I'm so excited to be here. And it does impact us everywhere. There's a thing called reinsurance that exists out there. And a lot of people don't know about this, but it is insurance for insurance companies. It's the safety net that keeps your insurer steady even when the big disasters strike. So when there are big catastrophic losses like Hurricane Ian in Florida, the wildfires in California, insurance companies themselves don't just pay when a whole city or neighborhood is wiped out with that. They go to their reinsurance companies. And so just like when you make a claim on your insurance, the insurance companies are making a claim on their reinsurance. So now their costs rise, which means our costs rise. And even though there's hurricanes in Florida and California, you think, okay, well, what does that have to do with me here in Oregon? Well, these carriers are national carriers. And so it spreads out across, it affects everybody, whether people like to admit it or like to understand this or not. We are all connected, and we're feeling it in our rates.
Great points, Ricky. So, there are people that live in the wildfire zones. So what's your recommendation? What should they do next?
So, well, they can't just move, right? That's not the answer. They are gonna have to accept that they're gonna now start paying more for their home insurance. And what's happening is the way that a lot of the insurance companies are starting to prevent future losses so that rates can be more stable and kind of level out in the next year or two is by just not taking on risks that are in those zones. So just not accepting those homes. And I know that sounds, wow, what do? I have to insure my house, but there are markets for that. They're just slightly more expensive, and they're not as accessible from the standard market that you see on TV all the time. So if you are living or planning to purchase a home that is in a higher risk wildfire area, it is more important than ever to find a broker that is a good agent that understands the ins and outs to help you navigate this challenge and be able to make sure that you're covered properly.
Yeah, so like if you get dropped, it's not like you're like just out of luck, right? Like,
no, there are places that will take it, right? But they're going to be not in what is called the standard market, which are the big name companies we all know and some other ones, which means it's a little more risky. So if there is a catastrophic loss, their reserves aren't as high that they may not be able to pay all of them out, but they'll insure it. For other, as long as there's not a big catastrophe, and they still can pay that out. Don't get me wrong. It's just they're regulated less, and they're going to have a lot more exclusions in their policy for a lot of the little line item stuff that matters that we're really used to. But at least your home is protected for big things. And that kind of leads to, even if you're not in those zones, if you want to help stabilize your pricing, you really want to use your insurance for those big things and not little claims.
Yeah, we were talking about that like on a past video, right? We talked about your insurance score and how important that is. And I know Ricky and we had talked previously about like trying to negate getting dropped from your insurance would be to pay attention to your insurance score, or obviously have a good broker that educates you on your insurance score. But like to not do silly things that is gonna like make it so, gosh, your insurance company keeps seeing that they're paying out, so they're just gonna drop you. Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, I advise my clients on the homeowner end, don't make a claim less than $5,000, you know, and again, we need to be a little sensitive to everybody's budget and situation, that especially in the post-COVID era, it's hurt a lot of people, and people aren't as financially stable or strong as they used to be. But if owning a home also does come with more expenses and responsibilities. And I understand the mindset people have of, well, I have insurance, what is not what it's for? They need to fix things. Yes and no. Insurance isn't, as a homeowner, you still have a responsibility to kind of fix the little things that happen to your house. Insurance should be there for big losses.
Yeah.
What about chips on our car chips or window chips on the cars?
Well, there are many carriers have what's called glass coverage for that. So you want to keep your higher deductibles, because again, that makes sure that you're really only making a claim for a big problem. But there's a separate glass deductible, which is usually either $50 or $0, depending on the carrier and the plan that you have. And those show up on your score, but it doesn't necessarily hurt you the same way, because you got a rock chip, that's what it's for, that's part of the deal. That's one of the ways that insurance companies does try to help you on smaller things. But I say smaller things, what's the cost of windshields and glass these days? It's outrageous
right now.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, so with all this doom and gloom, is this just the way the world is going to be now?
Yes and no. So insurance is cyclical. It always goes through cycles of ups and downs with rates, and right now we're in an unusually hard market, where we are in the middle of a perfect storm, where we're seeing a higher frequency and bigger losses with these catastrophic losses year after year. It seems like there's a hurricane every year, a massive wildfire every year. Hailstorms in the Midwest are getting worse, right? So we can't control any of that, except for maybe being better to the earth and helping with that. But the other mix in this perfect storm is the post-COVID era of inflation, supply chain issues, labor shortage of labor and labor costs that go to making all the repairs to your homes and your cars. It's all happening all right now at the same time. And insurance companies are trying to make up for the losses that they've taken through this, and also be profitable, and also offer rates that are reasonable, right? And that's not an easy thing to do. So it's gonna take a couple years for that to settle out with everybody. So in the meantime, make sure you have a good agent, a good broker who is helping you understand the strategy to keep your insurance score high, to make sure you're at the top of the market when it's time for you to shop for your insurance. Don't make small claims. Don't shop too much. You're gonna get an increase in your second year. Take it and stay there. Don't keep shopping, because then they think they're not going to be profitable for you, so they're going to offer you higher rates to get in.
Makes sense.
Great point.
Well, thank you so much, Ricky. I know we could talk about this for a while, but if somebody wanted to connect with you or get in touch with you and have insurance questions, how would they do that?
Yes, send me an email or give me a call. My email and phone number should be on the screen here, and I'd be happy to help anybody learn more about what they can do to help minimize the impact to them from this hard market, and make sure that they have a good strategy to stay on top of the market when they're looking to shop their insurance.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Ricky. Thanks, guys.
Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.